This time on Empire, more paint and some assembly on the UC Torana.
Bullets, damn right I'll pull it. Faster than lightning, skin slaying still charging. Power slide your face, begin the race. 100 miles an hour, all bitter and sour. Wind in your face, 100 miles an hour, embrace the golden hour.
Alright guys, so all of the prep work for the blackouts are now done. We spent like 3 or more hours masking up. I didn't record any of it because it was not a good time. Absolute hours and hours and hours of painstaking masking. It sucks. I'm going to try and do inside the door jams and the outside at once. I will never do that again. It was a pain in the ass. It's just making it so hard because you've got to work around 360 around a panel and make sure nothing touches when you sort of close the doors over. And it's a challenge, but anyway, we're ready to go. It's about 9:30 and we're gonna hit this with a satin 2-pack black. Fingers crossed it'll go sweet. All right, so down back at the shop, it's been a couple more weeks, and the bonnet we threw in the car, probably in the last video, I've forgotten. But basically all the satin black that we done has all flushed off and it's come up sick. So there is a slight difference. There's a little bit more of a peel in the bonnet and that come out a little bit flatter. Had a little bit more reducer in it, but overall it's not enough to worry about. I'm super happy with the outcome on that. Overall, super happy with the black on blue, and stoked that we've gone with satin black, because that's one thing I really didn't like about the Holdens. They always went gloss blackouts, and to me, you really need that contrast. The satin just makes the blue pop so much better. Also in the last video, which was quite a while ago now, we were playing around with some springs to get the ride height and done a bit more digging and realized that although the springs that I bought were actually advertised as 2-inch drop, yeah, I matched them up to the springs that we pulled out of the car, and then the same part number. So it already had lowered springs in it. And as you see in the video, it's not lowered. So this is about what it's sitting at now. So I've gone ahead, used the old springs, and I've just lopped a coil and a half off just so we can get it sitting where we like. And then we'll start, so I can sort of get a bit of a gauge on what we want. And then we can start looking at other spring options. There was heaps of suggestions in the video, so thank you for everyone who made suggestions about different springs that are available to put in these things. Although they're not cross-referenced, if you look up the parts, you just have to basically start doing your own research, and you guys have helped massively with that. But I'm gonna lop a coil just so we can have this thing sit nice. It just lifts morale, because the way it's sitting like this, I can't stand it. looks terrible. So we're gonna chop some springs, drop them in the back, get this thing sitting nice, and then we're gonna continue on, maybe doing a little bit of polishing around the edges and putting some chrome trim on. Should be sick. All right, car's sitting way better now. We're not going to go any further than that because realistically we don't know what it's going to sit like once it's got full glass and a full trim, everything like that. So that may bring it down slightly as well. But for now, at least it looks a hell of a lot better sitting in the workshop while we work on it. All right, so let's get stuck into cleaning up some windows and yeah, putting some trims on. Should look heaps better. All right, while Andy cleans up all the glass and she's doing some tidying up in the dash and stuff, I'm taking care of some of the spots that need some chrome trim, and I figure the best way of handling this is to do some spot polishing around the areas that the chrome trim is going to go on to save us trying to block up to the hard edge of the chrome trim. So I've already started this side here. As you can see, it's that's all been buzzed back to a 2000, so that's ready for a buff. And just behind those little spots there is where the chrome trim goes on. Over this side, you can see I haven't done it. It might be a bit hard to see in the camera, but here I haven't touched and it's really peely still. So you can see the paint there. We'll need a block and a polish, so I'm just doing those little sections first. Then we'll get some chrome trim on, and then the whole car will continue on with some polishing down the track. Another thing I want to do is also, there's a few little runs here. I'm going to mask this edge up so I don't rub through. I'm going to rub and polish this whole little section, then the bar can go on, and then we don't have to worry about trying to get in there later to a too hard a spot to get into. So we're going to keep chipping away with this and yeah, see if we can start getting it to look a bit more like a complete car. I'm starting to put these trims on with the new clips, and I'd suggest if you haven't got really strong fingers, maybe get someone to give you a hand because these are so unbelievably tight. I'm surprised I'm not actually bending the trim. So I've got 2 on, 3 to go, and hopefully I can get them without doing any damage. I hate this part. Alright, that's only 1 trim on, but it looks really good though. Alright, really happy with that. Get the other side done. That's going to be it for the trim today because it's too hard to get on with some other stuff, but this is why resto stuff takes so long. It is so finicky. All right, here we are. This is the last morning I got to work on this car before our big show on the Saturday. That's coming in a couple of days' time, and I'm under the pump. Everything's happening. Got a quick set of red walls to do now, but I've got to get this ready for the windscreen to go in right now. So I'm gonna uncover this and get this thing looking more like a car. How bloody good does this look? Glass gone back in the car. Man, it just looks so much more complete. And he's gonna be absolutely stoked with this. I can't spend any time on this today. We're getting the yard ready for the car show this coming weekend. So hopefully this video is out Saturday morning, which means it is tonight. If you're watching this in Adelaide, you better come down. We get back out there. But for now, that's gonna be it for the Torana. Pretty stoked. We've got Steve doing some trim work still on the inside. Blackouts come out beautiful. Stoked with how that's looking. The rear tail light trims come up great. It's all starting to piece together and really, really happy with how this thing's turning out. So I better get back out there, stuck back into it. If you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe. Let us know what you think in the comments about the Torana build. And once again, if you're in Adelaide tonight, get down for the Drive with Dixon and Iron Empire Spring Meets. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.